Hello and welcome to MotoGP Fantasy Live with myself, Liam Hodgins. It is time for the final one of the season. 19 rounds down, one more to go to crown the 2023 MotoGP World Champion. Will it be hashtag Team Pecco or hashtag Team Martin? Please let us know in the comments below. It's been a fantastic season so far. Pecco Bagnaia leads the World Championship by 21 points over Jorge Martin. However, we have seen in the past, along with the likes of Nicky Hayden and Jorge Lorenzo, that they can overturn a championship deficit and bring home the crown at the very end of proceedings. So ahead of the Valencia Grand Prix this weekend, we have one final time to play MotoGP Fantasy. And who will you be picking this weekend? We have a very exciting guest to bring you, a very special person who has just claimed his first ever Moto2 World Championship podium, last time out in Qatar. It is, of course, Manu Gonzalez. Manu, how are you doing? Thank you and very welcome to MotoGP Fantasy Live. How has the last week been for you? You are now a Moto2 podium finisher. Just explain to us how that has been for the last 4 days.
Hello to everyone. Thank you for inviting me for today fantasy preview. And after Qatar weekend has been the best of my Moto2 career, no? First podium, second position in a very special place, a special race. Let's go for the last one.
Yeah, very first podium, very special podium indeed. Qatar was an incredible ride from yourself. One last one to go. Surely you must be aiming for one more step on the podium, the top step.
I don't know if we will take it, because here is always a very difficult track to make a difference, because every rider knows the track a lot. The teams have very much experience here, so we will try to battle for the same as in Qatar, and if we have the opportunity to battle for the win, of course we will try.
Now, is Valencia a track that you enjoy? How much have you ridden here over the years? Because you didn't actually start in the Grand Prix paddock. You did race in the Red Bull Rookies, you did race in the European Talent Cup, but then you went off to do World Supersport 300 and World Supersport as well. So you've not really raced it too much in the last few years, but how is this track for you? Is it a track that suits your style?
Yeah, it's a track I know very, very well, because I race here in the Spanish Championship, and also with the European Talent Cup I race here, so it's a very familiar track. We also did a test last year here, so it's pretty easy for me and for everyone, but it's always a difficult weekend to be fast, very, very fast, and to be on the top. Also a very narrow track to battle in the race, so the qualifying is very important to be on the top.
Just want to go back very quickly to last weekend. Now, your first podium, did you do too much celebrations afterwards? Did you get to celebrate, or are you just waiting for after this weekend in Valencia?
I didn't have time to celebrate because we had the flight very, very early. Then when I arrived home, just two mechanics are near where I live, so we didn't do any celebration. But through the evening in Qatar, we were enjoying a lot there in the circuit, and after this race Sunday, maybe we will celebrate a bit more with the team. Special dinner, also last race with the team, so it will be a nice weekend also here.
How much does that mean to you to try and get a good result for you, but not just for you, but for also the team, since it is your last race with them?
Yeah, it has been so important, because a lot of races we were there very, very close to claim the podium, but for one thing or other we didn't finish in the result the race. But for the team it has been also amazing, because it's only their second year in the World Championship. So for them and for Yamaha boys were very, very, very happy day, and a special day for them, because it's also their first podium. So it has been very, very well.
Well, we hope you give them lots to cheer for on Sunday, and also we hope you give yourself a lot to cheer for with a podium, maybe the race win, but also maybe some good winnings in MotoGP Fantasy. So, Manu, let's play MotoGP Fantasy. We were just talking off air. You say that you play this every single race. How have you been doing so far this year?
Lately, better. The first races, I used to change too much the riders, so I lost maybe some points. Some riders crashed, but lately I didn't change too much. I had some good riders and good teams, so I think not bad points.
Yeah, I must admit I've been falling into the same hole this year with changing too much and some of my riders not performing that same weekend. So it's easily done. So for this weekend, let's hope that neither of us fall into that trap. But before it all begins, we have to choose our team. So last weekend, we had Jorge Martin and Enea Bastianini locked into our gold team. Brad Binder and Augusto Fernandez locked in as our silver riders, and our constructor, Ducati, and our team, Muni VR46, who picked up a podium last weekend in the hands of Luca Marini in both the sprint and the main race itself. Now, Manu, first things first, would you like to change the team?
Okay, here Martin is very important because it's the last race of the season and he will give the 200% he has. So I think he's a really good choice. Also, manufacturer Ducati is always the top, so so it's difficult. Also, Team Muni is always in the top with both riders, so I think it's good choice. Maybe I will change Bastianini
Take it,
because he's
Bastianini.
not very consistent in the top. He did a good race in Malaysia, but in Qatar he struggled a bit, and here I don't really know how he will go. He will go.
Yes, Valencia's been a bit of an up and down for Enea Bastianini. Did secure third place in the World Championship last year, but as you say, Qatar was a bit of a struggle. However, he did set the fastest lap, a new lap record on the final lap of the race. So, yes, the speed is coming back for Enea, but maybe the consistency needs to work on a little bit. So, we have our remaining salary at the moment, 2.8 million. Now, before we change Enea, would you like to replace anyone else, maybe Brad or Augusto, or would you like to leave them in?
It's difficult because Augusto is doing well, but in the back positions it's always difficult to do points in the fantasy. So I don't know. Also, Binder is doing well, but the last races he's not in the top like before. So maybe his money is more value than his result. So maybe we can change him.
So maybe change Brad. We'll take Brad out. But we must remember he did finish second here to Alex Rins in 2022. However, as you say, Manu, he's been struggling a little bit as of late. So do you want to take Brad out or leave him in for now?
Okay, we take out and then we think about if we can put him again.
Perfect. So Brad Binder and
So
Enea
how much we
Bastianini
have?
out. We have a remaining salary of 6.10 million. So pretty good. We will scroll down. Now, for bargain at the moment, we have Fabio Di Giannantonio, our most recent MotoGP winner at 2.9 million. Pecco Bagnaia, probably a little bit too expensive if we want to add someone else in. Luca Marini, also good value for money, 2 podiums in Qatar. Maverick Vinales, a little bit of a dilemma with Maverick, has the speed, but the results sometimes aren't there, sometimes they do. Alex Marquez, 2.6. Fabio Quartararo doesn't qualify well, but does come through very well in the races at 3 million. So we do have a lot of riders there that we can put in. Maybe Jack Miller will come back on form. Johan Zarco, Joan Mir, maybe we'll find some form for the final round. Of course, Marc Marquez, his final race for Repsol Honda, 2.4 million. He will want to go out with incredible results. Manu, anyone there that stands out to you that you might want to put into the team?
I think I like Quartararo for this
Quartararo.
weekend.
Will he
Because
be your...
Yamaha is getting better the last races, and here if he can do a good qualifying, for sure the result he can do well. So I think he will be a good choice maybe for silver.
For silver? So Fabio Quartararo, we will add in. And he's gone into the gold team at the moment, but we can switch him over with the other rider we put in. So that leaves us with...
left?
We have 3.10 million remaining. So that means we can afford Digia, Marini, Vinales, Alex Marquez, Enea Bastianini if you want to put him back in if you're getting cold feet. um, Johan Zarco, Marc Marquez, Raul Fernandez, who showed a lot of speed in Qatar, but the results didn't quite come to fruition. So yes, we have, apart from obviously Pecco and I think Brad Binder, we can afford anyone else. And Marco
Uh,
Bezzecchi.
I am between Di Antonio, Marini, and Alex Marquez because last races they are fast, but in this track I don't really remember who usually did well here. Uh, for sure, Alex is a good choice, but maybe also Marini. he can he can make a surprise. Maybe I
Basically
think I
anyone
will
with a
go
Ducati.
with yeah. I think I will go with Alex.
Alex Marquez.
Yeah.
I think that's a good decision, to be honest. So, Alex Marquez in your silver for the moment. Would you like to switch him and Fabio Quartararo round?
Yeah, which we switch. Yeah, yes, yes.
Let's switch them. So, we'll move Alex to Fabio. So, are you happy with that? That's your final answer for your team?
Yeah, I think it's well. No, I think it's good.
I think it's a very good
Not
team
very
indeed, if I'm
easy
honest.
with the money we have, but I think it's a good choice because Alex is strong and also here in Spain he can do well.
Yeah, Alex Marquez is someone that's been on a little bit of form of recently. 2 podiums, and including a TISO sprint win in Malaysia a couple of weeks ago. 2 top 60s and Qatar as well. So a very good pick indeed is Alex Marquez. And so he put him in the goal team along with Jorge Martin, who, as you said, is going for the championship this weekend. Now, Manu, I have to ask you, do you think Jorge Martin can pull it out of the bag this weekend, or do you think it will be Pecco Bagnaia?
Phew. It's a very, very, very difficult question because here in Valencia, through the years, we saw that it's possible to happen everything. Everything can happen here. Rossi lose a championship when he was first. Also, some battles in the last years, and I don't know how Pecco will manage the distance because yeah, he has 20 points I think, and 2 races he has space. No, if Martin is very very strong, for sure he will try to win both races. But Pecco, I think he will be a bit conservative to try to maybe do fourth, fifth position and do the necessary points to win the championship. I think he will not push too much to the crash. He will try to calculate how many points he needs to win and win the championship.
Yeah, it's all to play for this weekend. 37 points still on the table. 21-point championship lead for Pecco Bagnaia. Anything can happen, as we have seen, as you mentioned. Rossi lost the championship to both Nicky Hayden and Jorge Lorenzo. Are you Team Martin or Team Pecco? Or would you prefer not to say?
I'm not really from one side or the other. I would like to the best to win. So if Pecco wins, I will be happy, and also if Martin wins, I will be happy because they both did a really good season and both deserve it.
Indeed, they both may the best win, as we have been saying. Now, I would like to come back onto you a little bit, and we have to remember this year is only your second year in Moto 2. You've been doing incredible results at the tail end of last year. You started picking up top 5s, top 6s. You brought that into this year. It looked like for a while that you couldn't get past that P5, but then you managed to pick up the podium last weekend. How difficult has it been to adapt to Moto 2, coming from what has been an unconventional route, so to speak, from the Supersport 300 and then the Supersport class?
Yeah, it has been more difficult than I was expecting, and also I think than the people thinks because yeah, the super sport bike, maybe you think okay, the power is more or less, the weight is more or less, but the riding style is completely different, the weight distribution is completely different, the everything is different in this category from super sport. So for me, last year was very very tough to know how to go fast with this bike, no? To push to the limit, to take the time in the qualifying where you really didn't know that the time was there, no? But yeah, these last races from more or less half of the year, Silverstone a bit earlier, I think my level was very very high already, battling for the top five in every session. Some races with the possibility to do the podium. So it has been a long 2 seasons, but I think I already arrived to the podium in Qatar, and I think we can battle for the win in the next ones.
Some fighting talk in your statement there. What was the hardest thing to adapt to from the Supersport class to the Moto 2?
The hardest thing maybe the front tire, because with the Super Sport you have a lot of confidence in the front. The bike is smooth. You can push with the corner speed. I am a rider that likes corner speed, but here in the Moto 2 with this Dunlop front tire, it's very difficult to get the confidence, to get the feeling until you don't do many laps and have the bike in the hand in the setting you like. It's very difficult to go fast with this bike, but one time you know the feeling with the bike when it's sliding, you can push almost the same like I had with the Super Sport, and yeah, that was the most difficult.
You've had 2 years on Dunlops. Next year, Moto 2 goes back to Pirelli. You've ridden most of your later career on Pirelli tyres. You had a small test in Barcelona. Are you looking forward to them coming back? Do you think the Pirelli tyres will suit more of your style for next year?
If they change it last year, it was better for me because now I already have the feeling with the Dunlop, but for sure with the Pirelli will be easier to go fast. Not just for me, but for every rider, also Moto3 riders. I think it will be easier to get the feeling with the bike. It's some tires that you can push, you can have your own riding style, no? With the Dunlop, with the Moto2, it's very difficult to have your own riding style. You to go fast, you have to do what the bike asks you to go to do, no? But the next year it will change everything, settings, the teams, the tire management in the race. So it will be very difficult. For sure, the start of the year will be very difficult.
So basically, whoever adapts quicker to the Pirelli tyres will probably have the
Yeah,
better chance of coming out as championship favourite.
yeah, yeah. For sure,
Well,
the who adapts faster will be the fastest one in the first races, but I think it will be 60% the team, 40% the rider, because the bike has to change a lot. With the Pirelli, you have to put more weight in the front to have more grip and turning, because the rear has too much grip and the lap times will be much faster. So the team will have an important role here.
well, maybe you can help the team out with your new team next year, Grassini, with helping them develop the bike and to suit your style, considering you have had some recent experience on the tyres. Before we let you go, Manu, I know we've had you for a long time. I would just like to get your prediction of who you think will be your main competitors this year or this weekend, and what you predict the result in both the MotoGP race and the Moto2 race.
This year, this race is difficult because in the last part of the season, always many riders are strong. It's not like the first races that there are more difference. But here, for sure, Fermin is strong. The Bosco Oscuro last year did well here with Alonso. Alonso, I think he will be also fast to fight for the podium. Pedro is also a track he will be fast because in Qatar it was a track more for the smooth riders like Fermin, Aaron, and me. But here in Valencia you can push more, you have more grip. So many riders will be strong here. So it will be difficult to battle for for the podium here.
But you think you'll be on the podium anyway, correct?
Yeah, I will try to do it.
That's what we like to hear. Well, Manu, it's been great talking to you. Thank you very much for coming on MotoGP Fantasy this weekend for the final one of 2023. Best of luck to you and to your team for the final weekend of the year.
Thank you very much for inviting me here, and see you next year.
You're welcome back anytime. Well, there you have it. Manu Gonzalez, a great character, brilliant to talk to, and, well, some hints ahead of 2024 with some new tyres coming to the Moto2 class. And, of course, he's venturing into pastures new with the Gresini team next year. So there we have it. The final MotoGP Fantasy of 2023. There is our team. Jorge Martin, Alex Marquez in the gold team. Silver Riders, Fabio Quartararo. He has been brilliant at coming through the pack in the last few rounds. And, of course, Augusto Fernandez, our Rookie of the Year in 2023. Now, if you have just joined us and you haven't been playing MotoGP Fantasy all year, I'd like to know, where have you been all year, first of all? Secondly, do not worry, you can still play this weekend. You can challenge your family, you can challenge your friends, you can challenge the rest of the MotoGP community, and we have lots of prizes in store for you if you want to join up this weekend. And here is one of our most incredible prizes. If you are the highest point scorer of the weekend, you get to win 2 MotoGP tickets to any Grand Prix of your choosing. So make sure you sign up to MotoGP Fantasy for this weekend, and of course into next year as well. And our season competition prizes, we have a lot on offer for that one. First place, you get the 2022 MotoGP World Champion signed replica helmet from Pecco Bagnaia. Will he make it to World Championships this weekend? Will he be our 2-time MotoGP champion? Second place, you get a Lenovo laptop and MotoGP 23 video game. And third place, another great prize, the official MotoGP Tissot wristwatch. Lots of great prizes on offer, and make sure you join us and sign up to MotoGP Fantasy Live. We will leave this with you. There is Manu Gonzalez's MotoGP Fantasy team for the final time in 2023. All I would like to say is thank you for joining us this year, and I hope you enjoy the weekend, and may the best rider win.